You've probably been told that self-pity is a choice, that you need to keep moving, keep going, and think positive and don't wallow. Whatever you do, don't wallow in self-pity. How's that working for you? I'm guessing if you clicked on this video and on self-pity title, that there's something quite not adding up. I believe that one of the reasons that we subconsciously go into things that are deeply suffering for us, sabotaging, like addictions, whatever it may be, is because we're not giving time and space for our self-pity. Even using that phrase can be triggering and has stigma. And so what I'm going to challenge you with opportunity today is start to see when you feel what you would normally call self-pity and start to transform it through practice. And we are going to practice today. And this is a sign of your nervous system trying to bring you back home to your heart. That's why this is called Heartmind. Welcome to Heartmind with Holly. I'm Holly Sin, and I'm so glad that you're here practicing with me, and I hope it supports you today. This is a channel where we're going to take Eastern science, yoga, traditional Chinese medicine theory, as well as Ayurveda, and we start to take some of those practices and theories, mix it with the Western science and neuroscience that's coming out today, and align those for you. Today we're going to do a practice and we're going to try to reframe for our own health and for our own well-being what self-pity means. And I want to start with traditional Chinese medicine and talk about the spleen. The spleen on the left side of your body is a huge part of your immune system. It's deeply connected to your lymphatic system, and it's the healer of your body. But there's also a connection called Yi, Y-I, that's connected to your spirit, and it's the spirit that the spleen cleans and clears, particularly spinning out or worry. And one of the elements that I work with addiction is going to be the spleen and the stomach. It's the earth meridians, grounding us into the cycles of the earth, grounding us into ourselves. But when we worry and we spin out, it can take us not wanting us to be in those cycles and not wanting us to be in those nurturing parts of our spirit. So the first thing in the practice today is we are going to give that part of ourselves, those lines, just a little bit of love before we go into more of a meditative practice. Being the nurse, the spleen is going to have you ruminate again and again to try to heal an experience. And that might feel like wallowing because it's trying to get in there and find what you're needing to know or learn or experience in order to heal that. And so it's going to replay that over and over again in your mind. Part of its job, which it's doing with the digestive system, connecting with the lymphatic system, is to integrate and protect yourself. So if the rumination of that experience is really there to try to help protect you, to help support you, what is it needing or wanting to see? What is it needing or wanting to feel? That's kind of most important, right? Because when we feel it, we know when we feel it in the heart, there's great change that happens. There's a new awakening that happens that's different than we understand it. We understand, for example, man, that little one that I was really under-resourced. But to go back and feel it is a much, much different process that we do in somatic therapy. Now, there's another part in the lungs called Po, P-O, where it's holding the grief. And it's said that the lungs, the air in the lungs hold grief. So there's one part that's trying to replay the story and the worry of not being protected and trying to make sure you are protected and ruminating on that experience in order to stay protected. And then there's another part that's holding that grief in the lungs. That's why usually when we work with loss and we start to breathe, emotion starts to come out. And so we're going to work with the breath today after we massage or go into some of those earth lines, work with the breath to start to feel some of the grief we might feel from not being resourced as we know we needed. Most people feel this, that we've inherited a line of self-pity that we're needing to process. And it's not just our own, it's our ancestors.
And our most recent ancestors, our grandmothers' grandmothers, couldn't quite process this. They had to use the stigma of pity so that they wouldn't look at it. But it's time.
So let's get into the practice. The first thing I'm going to invite you to do, which will also help you to ground, is just very gently. It doesn't even have to be big, but if you like it, it can be big. You're bringing your legs out and you're going to just rub your thighs. In the front of your thighs is your stomach, which is going to be a yang effect to the spleen. The stomach is, and it does help the spleen. So rub your thighs and give it maybe that even squeeze on the front of your quads. The front is the earth line. And this will also help you ground and stay connected and grounded in the legs to feel that. And then the second one is in the inner thighs. So the spleen is actually in the inner thighs, and you can stay closer to the knees even. That might feel, again, safer, but it's also, I don't know where it is. And then the inside of the calves, rubbing the inside of your calves and maybe squeezing just a little bit or massaging with the thumbs, even running down that line. It's pretty simple, but nourishing, and that's what we're aiming for. Is for actually, it's not self-pity, it's self-nourishing to remember and see and experience your own suffering. Okay, coming into a cross-legged seat if that's okay for you. And I'm going to add the blanket because, yes, where we're going is tender. So I'm going to add the blanket. I have my tea for when I'm done. And then I'm going to place my hands down on my thighs, close the eyes, and take a couple of sweet exhales out the mouth. After a couple of sweet exhales, start to breathe through the nose or mouth. If you feel great grief or any big emotion, breathe through your mouth. It's different than maybe most yoga practices. I'm going to invite you to always breathe through the mouth if you have a lot of emotion, almost like if you're going running and you're just needing more air to come in. So we breathe through the mouth. We're needing more air to be released. So you breathe through the mouth. Breathing through the nose can keep you calm, but sometimes that's not what we're looking for, is only to be calm, but to allow the emotion to move. I invite you to kind of feel into or sense into with your vision or with your body, the senses in your body, maybe a part of your experience that you've been avoiding, that you've been told to stop feeling the self-pity, so don't go there, just keep moving forward, think positively. Go into that memory or that experience that you've been avoiding because it makes you feel really sad for yourself. Yes, I'm inviting you to go into sadness. Once you have that memory, you're going to take your hands and cross them over and hold your arms. And similar like we did with the legs, you can have just a little squeeze at any point, squeezing your biceps, squeezing your triceps, squeezing the muscles in your upper arm. You can even tuck your chin and allow yourself to go down into it. We're not wallowing, we're consciously taking our breath down into the body. Inhaling, feeling that come up the body into the heart. Exhaling, feeling a release down the body, down the nervous system. And so you're allowing your nervous system to meet this moment. Something maybe you've been ruminating on. Hey, that wasn't quite right, or that really hurt. Particularly today, if it's something that you've been told, stop pitying yourself. Don't wallow in your own pain. And all you're going to do is try to meet that place and tell yourself, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry that experience was so jarring or so painful. I'm so sorry. And you're meeting it with breath. Keep breathing. Inhale up the body and exhale down the body. I'm so sorry. So sorry. So sorry that happened. Sometimes I feel it now. There's a little rocking that wants to happen or needs to happen. And with your inhale, I'm going to just invite you to feel into what did you need that you didn't get? What resource did you need that you didn't get? And only you get to decide this. Try not to, and it's really hard, not to let other people's voices in, or just notice if they do come in, you can release them on the exhale. And then also, as you release those other outside voices, I gave you that, or you had enough of that, if you're hearing that, then you're going to exhale, release that, and then let your nervous system feel safe to need or want this. Feel safe here in your arms. So inhale. What did you need? What did you need then? Exhale. Releasing anybody else's demands for you not to need that thing or to, to move forward, move on. Inhale. What did you need? Maybe it's the same thing. It keeps repeating, or maybe there's something new as you bring in that fresh, curious inhale into the heart. Exhale, release other people's voices and see if you can allow the exhale to run down your nervous system, down your back, into the legs, resting into the back of the legs. Now, for the very last part of this practice, all you're going to do is say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for seeing my suffering. Thank you, suffering, for letting me see you. Thank you. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to grieve. And here's the other part. It's okay to have these needs and wants. It's okay to have these needs and wants of resource. I'm going to take 3 more deep breaths. This part's really important. When you come out of this, bring your hands together right in front of the heart or the core, and you're going to rub your hands together, and that creates a warmth. And that warmth is created through the force of your arms, connected to your chest, connected to your heart. Create that friction, that warmth, that heat. And then you're going to take the heat to your eyes first. So when you wake up, you're waking up a little bit more awakened, a little bit more fresh, and connected to your own heart. And to the warmth and nourishment of your own heart, your own love. And when you're done with that, you release down, and you can take that again anywhere, maybe back to the legs, maybe in your gut. Thank you. I want to thank you. It's really most important that you thank yourself, but I want to thank you for this work. This is so small and so simple. But if we are wounded, deeply wounded from our childhood or from experiences, even in our adulthood, we need this daily clearing and loving of ourselves. And it's the presence. It's not wallowing, to give presence to your own suffering. This is a lie that we've been told. And why? I'm not quite sure, because it's not helping us evolve anymore. It might have at one time because we needed to keep being productive, but we're meeting a new age where we need to meet our suffering and transform it over time gently. But also, it is that suffering in which we can connect greater to other peoples with compassion. So, thank you so much for being present with your suffering. Your spleen thanks you. Integrating that a little bit more. Your lungs thank you. Your nervous system thanks you. And that ultimately affects your heart. If this supported you, and you know others that this could support, I really, really ask that you share it, because this is the work we need to be doing as healers, as wellness entrepreneurs or guides, as doctors, as people, coming more and more into compassion. And it starts with ourselves. So please share with someone that might need this small practice today or sometime in the future. Share with them in the hope that they can meet their own suffering and no longer call it self-pitying, but meet it. And the beautiful thing is, once we meet it, just like a lot of things, we feel lighter and we feel more available. And we feel less constrained by that subconscious need to fulfill that, maybe again with some kind of addiction. And it can be some of those really nasty addictions like alcohol or substance abuse, but I'm talking about the addiction to negativity, the addiction to complaining, the addiction to you name it. So we're starting to release some of those because we're actually getting at the heart of our own suffering. Again, my name is Holly Sin. I hope this supports you. Please subscribe if it did, because there's more practices like this coming your way, I promise. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the theory in my next episode around self-pity and addiction. Travel well. Again, after a big practice like that, that is big work. Nourish yourself, enjoy your prana, and I'll see you next time.